What's up, I'm Aidan, we're here, my DIY self-build, and today we're going to be popping on a door threshold, which is a double seal Stormguard. It's going to help us stop any water ingress or draughts, and we're also going to be popping on a weatherbar, also known as a rain deflector. That will help with stopping any water ingress into this door here. Then I won't have to keep on giving it a boot to open it. First things first, I'm just going to pop a little bit of tape on either side of the door, so I can get a good measurement later on for the actual weather bar. We're going to cut it inside these profiles. Some people, they notch out the actual frame, but we're not going to do that today because of the Stormguard. So we're going to drop in the actual rain deflector slightly, and then we'll angle this side. Now, the bottom of this door, originally I cut it with a 3mm. This is a 3mm packer. 3mm gap there, 3mm gap there. But here the door's swollen up, so the actual end grain doesn't expand that much. It's the side that actually go, because the grain runs this way on that one and that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the door down so the threshold can go underneath, and there'll be enough room for the expansion, and I'll get a proper seal for any water that's going to get underneath. Now I do know that this threshold, there's a slight lump in it just about here, because I've tested it, and if any water was to get underneath, it will drain out, apart from this bit here. With this particular frame, it did come obviously with these end bits here. They give you an extra bit, so you can pop that at the bottom. I suppose it is optional if you like, and that can go down here, but there's no seal on it then. And even if you put the weather bar on, I'm just not, I'd rather be extra. Belt and braces. With the Stormguard, the actual door is going to be pushed up against this rubber seal here, so that will stop any water driving into here. If it does get through, it will go into this channel, and that's sloped that way, and then there's holes just down here so the water will escape. And then to stop any drafts, obviously we've got that seal as well as this one as well. With a weather bar, you can have it either way, and then this is a drip edge, so I'm going to be orientating it this way, because we've got this as well as a Stormguard. I wouldn't necessarily have to do it if I had a big porch or just this covered, but this is all open to the elements, and we don't want to get any water in there and cause any rot. Plus I want it airtight, no drafts. You can see where the door was rubbing before, mostly down here. So if you put up the profile, you can see the back edge is 10mm, and then you want an extra 3 to 4mm on top of that for clearance. So because I've already got 3mm there, I'm going to measure up 10mm plus the base of my circular saw. I'm going to use my Bosch circular saw because it's got the straightest bottom plate in comparison to the actual blade. It's better than Dan's DeWalt and my Ryobi. Ideally you'd use a plunge saw to trim the end of your doors, but I don't have one. I would like one, so if Bosch could sort me out, that would be great. Share this, tag them, and they might sort me out. I've actually got a track for a track saw or plunge saw. This is Evolution, so I've clamped it on. I've measured up exactly where I want to go off the bottom plate off of this, so I'm going to trim 10mm off the bottom now. First of all, I'm going to score it, so I'm going to go slight 2mm all the way across, just in case I get any tear out, and then I'll cut all the way through, and hopefully it'll work. If you haven't got a track to clamp it, then you can always use a bit of wood. Nothing wrong with that. Tiny bit of tear out, not much. I can live with that. Bearing in mind the door bar is going to sit up here, or weather bar. You never see that. This side turned out better. I think what I'll do is I'm going to score down this side quickly, because when the blade comes up it might tear this out as well. Going to cut the weather bar down now. Now what I'm aiming for is I'm going to drop it in, say 3mm from the frame on this side. I'll do the same the other side, but because we need to clear the frame, you need to cut this one on a slight angle. To fix this, what I was hoping to do, I've got a pocket hole jig that I've never used before. I was going to try and put pocket holes through here and screw it, but I can't find it, so I think the best thing to do is just go from the back. So we'll get one screw in there, one screw in there, and you're supposed to use waterproof adhesive on this, so I'm going to use the Gorilla Glue, the polyurethane stuff. So I'll pop a couple of screws in. Obviously I'm going to pilot it through the door at least, and then I'm going to put the door on when everything's in place, and then I'll take the screws out, put the glue on and screw it back in. I've already put a coat of Stormguard on, and I'm going to put the tongue oil on once I'm finished. I'm going to cut it at 3 degrees because the depth on it isn't that much. If I was cutting it and it was going on the door that way, I'd probably cut more but I reckon 3 degrees would be enough. Did you know I've never done this before? So I'm kind of making it up as I go along. So you're learning as I learn. Genius idea. So I decided to clamp this down with the clamps, but obviously this is a weird shape. So what I've done, the bit that I cut off, I cut in two, turned it upside down, and that's this bit here. So then you're able to clamp it. Nice. Before you go drilling anything, make sure your weather bar is on the right side. You don't want to put it on the back side, do you? I'm going to go for 5 times 60mm screws. These are gold. Hopefully you won't really notice them at the bottom. Not ideal. I would have preferred to have done the pocket hole screws, but you can't have everything, eh? I'm going to pilot with a 4.5mm bit, or is it 4? I think it's 4 actually. Oh! Do you know what? I think I'm just going to glue it now. It's just going to it'd probably be harder to do afterwards, so I'm just going to take it off. I'll glue it. Water activated. Weather bar's glued, screwed and oiled now, as well as the bottom of the door. I've spaced it up by 10mm for this particular bar. I probably could have got away with less, but I think that's good enough. So what's going to happen is it's going to sit about here, like that. Whilst I wait for the oil to soak in a little bit more, I'm going to put this on the threshold. First I'm going to cut it to the full width of the door frame, and then I'm going to notch out these bits here. This is a DeWalt laser measurer. It is good, 850mm. I'm going to take out the rubber gaskets first. Now this is aluminium, so you could cut it with a hacksaw, you could cut it with an angle grinder. I'm going to use a multi-tool with a metal bit on. Measure twice, cut once. I would say probably use an angle grinder, it'd be much easier and quicker. I swapped. Okay, so it's all profiled up. Bit fiddly that was. Now, one thing you should probably pay attention to, the drainage holes. Can you see that? They're not drilled all the way through, so obviously they've stopped on their machine. Worthwhile just punching them through. Okay. This is hard on your own. Are you ready for the moment of truth? Place your bets. Come on. Please work first time. Please work first time. Oh, Trent. Is he going to work? Oh, I've got loads of room. Nice. Nice. See, having these little gaps at the end, obviously you got a chance of water getting in your door, but because I've got the Stormguard goes all the way right to the end, it's not going to happen, is it? So what are the chances? I mean, tiny bit of water is going to get down there anyway, but it's not going to get through the Stormguard. Same over this side. I don't even think I really need to angle that, did I? That's about 4 mil off. Afternoon. I need to start getting up earlier, don't I? Last job on this, I oiled this again last night, so I've had 2 coats all in all. I need to do a third, but before I do that, I'm going to seal it. I need to do a little bit of sealing on the actual weatherbar. I'm going to use the No Nonsense X8 hybrid sealant. This is clear and it seals, fills and sticks to almost everything, to almost everywhere. Just need to seal across the top here in some clear sealant. That's what's recommended from the manufacturers. This is my sealant gun and I'm going to go that way. I haven't cut the ends, doing a very, very small bead. It's on slow. I'm also going to put a little bit around the edge of the door here, just in case any water gets through, and then it'll get trapped in the aluminium as opposed to going down this little gap. And we might as well do this little bit. And just under here there's like a little gap, so I'm not too keen on that. I'm going to seal that as well. Only joking, you nutters. Who went, no! That's for the water to get out if it gets in the threshold. Anyway. Jobs are good. And now the bottom of my door is rain and draft proof. I've got another million jobs to get on with. If you're one of the 30% of people that are still watching, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, because that helps the video get out to more people. You know, the YouTube algorithm gods. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.